1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, let's keep that and do another. I'm starting to feel okay, right?
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more?
Yeah.
Let me take a breath.
It's coming, man.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah, that felt a lot better, huh?
I don't know. It's for me when I'm alone. It's like I'm all alone with that tempo.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a bitch. I'm not Oscar.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, Oscar would be like...
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't want to get into that kind of shit, you know.
No, it sounds cool to me, man.
Yeah, okay, let's try it. Ça roule là. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that the first sound I ever heard as a baby, I would imagine, is jazz. And so I always wanted to play jazz music, but I studied classical music because I was in France and my parents wanted me to have some kind of formal education. So I studied classical music for about, I would say, 8 to 10 years. 8 years solid. And then the last couple of years were a little shaky because I didn't want to play classical music anymore. And after that, I played jazz with my father. We had a little band, we call it the Petrucciani Trio. And it was my father on guitar and my brother Louis on bass and myself. We didn't have any drummer. And we play all the old Tarfalo, Red Norvo kind of style, kind of thing like that, Wes Montgomery's tunes, arrangement. I would pick it up from albums, and just copy the arrangement, write the chords down, like that. A lot. Like, in fact, I think I know more Wes Montgomery's solos by heart than any other musicians that you could mention. You know, I know, like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 solos of Wes Montgomery that he has recorded on albums. I can tell you the cover of the album, it looks like, the arrangement, everything. So he's been like really one of more influential for me than other musicians.
Right.
Bill Evans was a different thing. Bill Evans was, I discovered Bill Evans in 1970, and
You were 8 years old.
no, 70, yeah.
You were born in 62, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't like it. My brother came up. We used to have a music store, and you know, my brother would pick up the jazz record and bring it upstairs, you know, to the house. And he said, "Check this out." He said, "This is great." My brother Louis was already much more advanced than I was as far as years. I was more middle jazz, you know, more like into Errol Garner. You know, like Bill Evans was too progressive for me. I didn't understand it. And he played me the album, you know, on the little Tepaz, you know, really funky thing. And I said, no, I don't like that. This guy doesn't know how to play. I said, this guy can't play. That was my first reaction on Bill Evans. And he said, no. He said, you're wrong. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. He was right.
Of course.
And I listened because I was open. You know, I was open-minded. So I said, okay, well, if he said I'm wrong, I'm going to really check it out. And I listened and listened and listened. The more I listened, I said, he's right. And I came and I apologized to him, you know. But way later, I mean, it was like I listened to Bill for months before I could even understand what he was doing. It was like so foreign to me. So I couldn't understand anything. I thought he was just playing, I don't know what, but it didn't sound right. It didn't touch my ears. You know, I couldn't understand the chord, the progressions, the tempos. It was the first time I ever heard of waltz, for instance, when he played very early on that album. It was Montreux 1970. And he played very early with Eddie Gomez and Marty Morell on drums. And little by little, then after that, he became like a major influence on me, because I realized what he was doing. But ironically, I didn't like Bill at first.
It's astounding to me that an 8-year-old child would be presumptuous enough to say he's not playing. Bill Evans is not playing.
I don't know. I was arrogant. I mean, you know, little guys, you know, little people, short people. They're arrogant little crips, you know. And I admit that I have that kind of energy sometimes. It does, you know. It's not like I say I don't like that, you know. But then I come back to it and listen. You know, I'm not closed-minded, you know. But I come off that way sometimes. But it's not true. It's not really me. I'm not like that. But yes, I was like that, especially my brothers. You know, my older brothers. I like to kick butt a little bit sometimes, the wrong way. But
You mentioned your size. In fact, you're 3-something feet
Right.
tall. You were born with, we call it glass bones, but I don't
Yeah.
know what the technical term is.
the technical term is osteogenesis imperfecta.
Yes. Is there a time when, growing up, you said, this is no more a problem? This is.
It was never a
It
problem.
was never a problem.
No, because I was born with it.
Yeah.
When you're born with something, you don't know how it feels like to be somebody else. You know, so it was not a problem.
It was not
Never,
an issue.
in fact. I was really lucky to be raised like a normal kid, like my 2 other brothers. There was no problem. I was punished when I did things that I wasn't supposed to do, and I was rewarded when I did nice things. Just, you know, the same. Nobody pampered me, you know, extra. You know, I'm really grateful for that.
Your playing also is very emotional playing. You're not just an idea player, you're a heart player.
I think you play like you are. I mean, you're a musician, and that's probably, you feel the same way.
There's no
People,
escape.
you could really define somebody's personality by his music. Sometimes I hear somebody play, and I could almost tell how he's going to be in life.
Your playing, the passion in your playing, no doubt, is what allegedly motivated Charles Lloyd to come out of retirement and go back to active performing.
Right, that's when I came to California. When I met Charles, I didn't know who it was, and I stayed at his house for about a month. There was a piano, like in the studio, there was a piano there, but I have a rule. I never touch other people's instrument unless they ask me to. This is a thing, and I don't like when people do that in my house. If you come to my house and sit on the piano and don't ask me, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to say, okay, no class. Because it's like a thing that I've learned. You say, please, is that okay if I sit down? And I didn't want to say that to him because I didn't want to play, And one day he said, what do you do? I said, well, I play the piano. He said, well, sit down and play. Would you play something for me? And I said, okay. And I by that time, it was a month without playing. I was dying to touch the ivories, And so I did, and I was playing. I was so much into what I was doing that I look, and he was gone. And I said, oh, my God, he really didn't like what I did. I chased him away. And I turned around. He was right behind me with a saxophone in my ear. And he was going, whoop, and we stopped playing. And we played until like 4 or 5 in the morning that day. And then we went to sleep, and I went to sleep in the trailer. I had a little trailer that Charles had provided for me with a little bed in it and a little fridge, And it was like camping. It was fun, I had a great time. And I slept for about 2 hours, and he came with the horn. Obviously, he didn't sleep at all. And he came to the horn, he played, he said, come on, man, get up, let's go. We could do it again. And we played like that for like 3 days, like nonstop, with like little intermission of 2 or 3 hours of sleep, taking a little nap, getting up, just playing, sleep again, like that. And it was crazy, it was great. And then he said, okay, you want to stay here? And I said, well, I don't know, because it was very, abrupt. You say that? Yeah. And he said, yeah, I want you to stay here. I want to play again. Would you like to be in my band? I said, great. It's an interesting thing to see that I come from like a very little town in the south of France, okay? And sometimes I'm like on the stage now with people like Roy Haynes or Freddie Hubbard and even today I still pinch myself and say, wow, I'm really playing with these people. These people used to be my heroes. They're the people I listened to when I was a kid and say, wow. But I never thought I would be who I am now in terms of if somebody, when I was in France, said, you're going to play with Freddie Hubbard, you're going to record with Roy Haynes, you're going to, play with Lee Konitz and Charles Lloyd. And, if people were to tell me that, I would say, no, you're crazy. No way. It's not going to happen to me. And it did happen. And it's still to this day, I'm still happy about it and shocked. I go, man, I'm just, I'm joking around. I'm making fun of Roy Haynes now. I mean, not fun, but, we're making fun on the bus or laughing or telling jokes and stuff like that. And for a minute, it goes by flash, and I say, man, I'm doing this with Roy Haynes. This guy's a legend. It was like a great experience and a great honor for me.
Yeah.
And so but things go so slow, Ben. You know how it is. It's so slow that you don't see yourself progressing, even in the music. I mean, like if I hear myself, I hear the last album I did, and I don't like it. I mean, I like it, but I say, oh, what did I do that for? And so I hope that the mistake I made on that one, I won't make it the next one. You know what I mean? And because I always try to be better, to do better, because I have a lot to learn. And in fact, I'm very happy about that, because I think if somebody said, that's it, I know it all, I think the best would be to quit and change business. Do something else. Become a painter or something. If you knew you were the greatest of what you do, that nobody could be better than you. I think it would be sad in a way. That's it. That would be probably this when death started to come,
They say if you're not busy being born, you're busy dying, huh?
Right, exactly. And that's how I feel. I mean, I try to go slow but surely to where I want to be. somehow the more I listen to my music, which I don't do very often, but when I do an album, I listen to it a lot after it's done, because I want to criticize and like that. But I realize that I think I'm getting more and more to be myself, if that means anything, to anybody. But it's getting more and more Michel Petrucciani sound and not Michel Petrucciani, Bill Evans, quote, McCoy Tyner, quote, Keith Jarrett, quote, everybody in town, except me, So now it's like, it's becoming more me. And I think that, but I'm not looking for that. I think that if you look for that, then it's wrong. You'll never get it because it comes naturally, I think. The more experience you get, the more, like that. So that's what I'm looking for in my music. And I want to play stronger, better, and sound more like myself, if that means anything. Because it really doesn't. Because we all, I think that, the musicians, we're all a big tree. It's like a family tree. We're born, we all have a father or a mother. It's like I come from somebody, and eventually one of these days somebody will come out of me. That could be possible too. But we all, it's a big tree. You got Art Tatum and Oscar and, Bud and Monk, like that. So what I'm looking at right now after is the sound. I'm looking after the sound of the piano because I think that if you have the sound, if the sound is right and strong enough, and it could, it's like the sound is like I could picture a sound like a Swiss watch. If it's on time, if you play on time, you're gonna get the sound, and if you play on time, you're gonna get the sound. Then you don't need to play anything else but that. Okay, and it's like it's a very hard thing to do because I find myself now, when I think of playing like that, I get lost sometimes because the chord changes go by, and the tempo is here, and and I'm trying to play. Okay, now play the sound. Meanwhile, 15 bars went by in front of my eyes, and I didn't see it. And I go, where are we now? So it's but I'm working on that. But I think that the sound is the most important thing, because if you get that and the timing, then everything will come. It's like if you get that, you don't play anymore. Somebody else plays for you. You see what I mean? You don't need to play. It's just it'll come just like and you could play 3 hours and say, well, I just started. Okay, because time, if it's right, it fool you like that. Anyway, that's what I'm working on.
What do you think? Throw another.
Yeah.
You want to make it?
I do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was some shit there.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think?
Yeah. What do you think?
I like that one.
Yeah. Want to check it out?
Yeah? Okay.